Distinguished guests, friends, but most importantly, those at Camp Liberty right now who I hope will get to see the film of this event here. I've known the people of the Iranian resistance since they were first detained 12 years ago. Unfortunately, several hundred of those individuals are no longer alive due to the utter failure of fulfilling the promise this nation made to them, to each and every one of them, to protect them. They believed us. They believed we would protect them from harm, like we promised to. Unlike the current fundamentalist regime controlling Iran, those imprisoned at Camp Liberty believe in freedom and justice. They believe in democracy. Yet our administration continues to attempt to negotiate with the Iranian mullahs. Numerous allegations are used to justify why the people of the resistance at Camp Liberty are languishing under horrible conditions, and they're tormented day and night by their Iraqi guards under their evil Iranian puppeteers. We turned our backs on the members of the resistance as we moved them from their home of many years at Camp Ashraf to a prison camp in western Baghdad. Ambassador Dan Fried, representing the State Department, and Martin Kobler of the United Nations promised that the members of the resistance would only remain at Camp Liberty for a few short months as a way station while they were processed to safe havens outside of Iraq. I was on a conference call and listened along with many other distinguished American leaders while Dan Fried stated there will be a robust U.S. Embassy presence at Camp Liberty and a plan to evacuate the members of the resistance if danger arises. Yet, there is a near non-existent U.S. Embassy presence. Only on rare occasions do they even set foot at Camp Liberty, just 5 times in over 2 years, though they have to drive past Camp Liberty every day between Baghdad International Airport and the U.S. Embassy complex. I guess our embassy personnel believe what you don't see, you can't be held accountable for. Yet we as a nation are accountable for the conditions and treatment that the people at Camp Liberty are suffering, the men and women there. We forced them there under the threat of imminent attack if they remained at Ashraf. Well, I've met them. I've lived in their camp. I've shared meals with them. I've provided their protection in the early years of their captivity. I've walked among them, and I have firsthand experience with the members of the resistance, and they are not a cult. They are not a terrorist organization, nor are they enemies of the United States. They're a determined resistance of highly educated men and women who have dedicated their lives to oppose a sadistic regime controlling Iran. I've personally been accused of going native, a victim of the Stockholm Syndrome, of not understanding the strategic picture. Well, I haven't gone native. I'm not suffering any syndrome, and I have a clear understanding of the tactical, operational, and strategic picture of this situation. And the people at Camp Liberty are being vilified, tormented, and murdered in order to placate the mullahs of Iran. They're really the pawns in this entire life and death struggle with the fundamentalists in Iran. The United States administration wants to close Guantanamo Bay. I've been there. There's a fewer than 120 detainees there. Yet, our same administration, our same nation, were complicit in the inhumane conditions and imprisonment of over 2,500 men and women of the resistance at Camp Liberty. Interestingly, the people who are suffering at Camp Liberty are there in order to appease the Iranian mullahs. And they are the same people who have a political platform of a non-nuclear Iran. In June 2004, I took a senior American commander to Camp Ashraf. We did this very quietly. He went around and was stunned with what he saw. He asked me, why are we keeping them detained? Explain that to me. I don't get it. I didn't have a morally justifiable answer. I didn't have an answer to that question in 2004, and I don't have one now. Why are we keeping them detained? Why aren't we fulfilling our promise to protect them? We won't be able to justify our inaction in the days, months, and years to come by stating, had we only known there was this danger. Well, we do know there's a danger to these people. We need to act now. And if we're not going to protect the people of liberty, give them a means to protect themselves. Thank you.